Welcome back to Sims Complete. I'm Matt Sims. That's Phil Sims, and we're going to do a quick little review here. Well, not quick. Everything that we do here when we talk football always goes a little too long, but that's a good thing because we like and we care about this damn game a lot. But we're going to do the Jets and Broncos review here. And, man, this was quite a football game. But before we get into all that, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, the number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, all the live odds that you need. Think you know your stuff? Go on the $200,000 mega contest. Pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance to win weekly prizes, a share of $200K. When the game is over, head over there to the online casino, play some games, blackjack, poker, unwind for 150 different slot games. Head to the website to get in on the action. BetOnline, the game starts here. Okay, Big Phil, we got that business out of the way.
Yeah, really well done. You want to do something else? Throw some stuff, I'll just sit here. I'll sit here I'll just sit here like a dummy while you do all this reading.
Well, this is.
I do it well though.
These are the things that I got to do. And,
I hear you. It's all good.
But hey,
hey, wait. Let's talk about what's the word? What phrase can you use about the Jet Denver game yesterday?
Oh man. I guess in the wise words of Jets fans, the same old Jets.
It was like a train wreck. I had to keep watching.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. I mean, it really was. And listen, a couple things. One, we had 2 good defenses out there on the field.
Right.
And the rain was a factor. And
of course,
we know that just by the quarterbacks, the way they, threw the football and the way the handling of the football went a few times. So everybody goes, oh, well, it wasn't that bad. It shouldn't affect them. It does, especially, like I said, when you're playing against 2 teams that are hard to move the football on, it's going to get ugly. And you know what, too? When you get in those situations, what do? You play to it.
Right.
You don't try to be a hero. You play safe. And I thought they both kind of did that. I thought decision-making overall was very safe, too, especially on offense.
Yeah, and we saw that the ball security was an issue early on in this football game. One of the 3rd and longs early to start the football game for the New York Jets. Garrett Wilson was stripped. Football, basically shoulder pad right in the football there early on a short pass, trying to, get something out of a 3rd and long situation. Tyler Bidet, he also fumbled on a screen pass that was thrown to him early on, the running back for the Denver Broncos. Hopefully he's okay. He left the game with an injury that looked pretty severe, so hopefully he is healthy and all right. But yeah, the overall take from the football game, it was an ugly game from start to finish. And, I guess the biggest takeaway was it's a little shocking to think that in a 10-9 game, you always go to, well, which team has the better quarterback in this situation? This is something me and Bob Papa talk about every weekend on our Sirius XM show. It's like when we kind of have that toss-up, we're going to go towards who's the better quarterback. And in this case, of course, it's Aaron Rodgers. And, were you a little surprised, though, too, that the Jets just couldn't really get anything going or generate any points? I guess the biggest disappointment was the goal line stand where they had 2 straight runs in a row after the pass interference. They get stuffed up the middle. They do a play action pass. It's well covered, and they settle for a field goal on that drive.
Denver not full down on the goal line there. And I probably would say if you want to talk about one sequence is the biggest key to the game, why the Jets didn't win, it would have been that right there.
Right.
You get the ball at the 1, and most likely you're going to say, well, we're going to get 4 cracks at this thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And I'll just say this to everybody, all the Jet fans, and even when I talked about the game last week, I said, be a little careful. This could be really close because this Denver defense with Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator, is real.
Yeah.
Hey, what did they do the week before? Tampa Bay, 7 sacks on it, and they were just all over everything, made it really tough. And when I watched the Denver Broncos getting ready to see how the Jets were going to play, tell me the weakness, and that there's no weakness. They get after the passer. They're extremely aggressive. I like their linebacking core, which is good. And, of course, Matt, they can cover. I mean, man, can they cover man-to-man. And they're fast. The whole defense is fast. Right. And when you got a fast defense like they do, like many in the NFL, you're going to be a good tackling team. And I just thought overall they were aggressive, more ferocious than I think anybody had any idea that they would be. And they took advantage of everything. In other words, the weather helped them. Aaron Rodgers wasn't as sharp as you'd like him to be in the weather. There were opportunities for the Jets to make some plays. They didn't. And Denver took advantage of all that.
Yeah, and it's just it is amazing because I think the big point that you make there is Vance Joseph, right? Just the way that he called the game. He is basically just saying, all right, hey, we're going to line up. We're going to crowd the line of scrimmage. We're going to make it ugly. We're going to win in a fist match, in just a knock 'em dead heavyweight fight. And it's going to be up to you whether or not you are going to take those calculated risks and still try to be aggressive in the passing game against this. And, and I think he has the ability to do that because Pat Surtain was phenomenal. Riley Moss was extremely impressive in this football game. You could see that the Jets passed up some situations where there's one-on-ones. It's Pat Surtain. All right, let's not attack him. Let's go over to the Riley Moss instead. And I think he did a phenomenal job. Both pass interference calls that were called against him, I honestly think that they were really just good acting by the receivers to draw the penalty. Because I think that he was locking people down in those one-on-one situations. But it starts in the trenches though for this team. Vance Joseph and what he did, got to give him a ton of credit. Aaron Rodgers has seen, every single defensive look you can possibly think of until this weekend. I really think Vance Joseph confused him on a few different looks to where he was expecting one coverage, got another. And, that caused him to be hesitant and did not trust himself on a few occasions, especially early on in the football game, which obviously paid dividends later on.
Well, I'm writing things down that come to my mind. I did watch the tape, the coach's tape, just to try to get a better feel.
Yeah.
And, but I'll say this was a Mel Kiper special for the Jets offense. You ready? There was just one guy back there almost every play of the whole damn game.
Yeah.
And, that was the first thing that hit me as I watched it on TV. And then yesterday, of course. And then I watched this morning. I went, holy Christ. I mean, it's man to man. We're all up there. They got them everywhere. And I think the other thing that caught me, Denver was faster than I expected, even after I'd watched them before.
Yeah.
And their games or their tricks, whatever you want to call it, on the defensive side, on the blitzes, how to get to the quarterback, I thought were phenomenal. I mean, I saw a few. I drew them up on a page because I said, I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people are going to start copying some of those things. The D-line, how they reacted, but how the linebackers and even some of the defensive linemen just came off of the look and just circled around, and they were just all over. They were all over it. And it was really, really good how much they crowded the line of scrimmage. And like you said, the weather, they weren't worried about the Jets wide receivers like we all think. And they said, let's just pressure and see what happens here. And of course, as I've said already, it worked out for them. Some luck. No, I don't want to say luck, but to stop a team on first and goal at the one, it takes some mistakes by the other team to help you out, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, and I guess in a polite way of saying that, because we don't want to say it's luck, but I would say luck favors the bold in football.
Yeah, there you go.
And they were bold with how they called this game. And, there just was never any counter move, right, by the New York Jets to gain any sort of momentum or to feel good about themselves offensively. Everything was hard work in this game. And it really started with the first two drives. You can see the Jets, probably because of the weather and really just the style and play, which was successful for them in the past few weeks, is getting some obvious running sets. And let's just kind of mush it up there and be aggressive. Let's use this veteran offensive line that we have now that seems to be coming together. Let's push people around and just get tough 3 or 4 yards a pop on each carry. Well, the first few run plays that they had, Jets running backs were getting hit in the backfield. Guys like Justin Strenad played really phenomenal in this game. Nick Bonito played great on the edge. Jonah Ellis, another guy. Let's just go through the other guys that I think that really popped off the screen right when I was watching. DJ Jones, the defensive tackle. Jonathan Cooper, number 0. dominated the edge of the line of scrimmage multiple times. Zach Allen,
he was terrific.
Maybe not a ton of production, or he had 5 tackles on the day, 1 for a loss, but like doesn't really equate to like how disruptive he was in this football game.
Right.
Cody Barton played phenomenal too. And then John Franklin Myers. So like it was a collective group there in that front 7 that was extremely disruptive. And Vance Joseph, they set up their defense in a way that I think gave these guys a lot of one-on-one opportunities in pass rush situations, but also against the run and, shooting gaps, playing fast. And it really started from the first drop back pass for Aaron Rodgers. They had a 7-man pressure and, they got home awfully quick.
Yeah. Quick sack.
Yeah, and the Jets ran a double move on it, and guess what? Gloved up across the board. Very well covered. So, again, it's just I guess my biggest concern and takeaway from this, though, is we discussed this last week. Aaron Rodgers, back shoulder throws or one-on-ones down the sideline where it's clean, it's easy, he sees it, throw it, make the finesse, beautiful throw, all of that. Slants, and then the designed flat where we're blocking it up type of concept, right? We're blocking it up or we're just throwing the quick flat by the running back. But I think, in this game against this defense, that type of strategy, I don't think is really going to be successful. Even if the weather was good, I still think it would have been a struggle for them.
Well, let me say this. Everybody, what's the phrase everybody uses? Unforced errors that are hurting you, or whatever that phrase is.
Yeah.
I heard it about 50 times this morning. I can't remember it. And I heard it during the game. Right. But, the Jets offensive line or whatever, making movements before the snap count. Well, Aaron Rodgers has been doing this for many, many years. And I know he does it every day at practice. So they should be ready. But so why was yesterday, why did they have 5 of those where they jumped or false starts? It's because they're thinking about what the hell's coming at them.
Exactly.
I mean, that's, nobody's taking that into account. They're like sitting up there. You're the tackle or guard. Who's doing what this time?
Yes.
And, your head's everywhere and you can't concentrate on the great snap counts that he does do. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's, of course, famous for drawing people off sides and then doing what? Taking a shot down the field. And, the Jets had a hard time with it. As I was watching the game, I go, this isn't about being undisciplined. This is about being worried about what's across from you.
Yes. And frankly, just slightly overwhelmed with being confused and not sure who has who in certain pass blocking situations. But then also, too, I think just the physicality of it on top of that, it just Denver was bringing the fight to New York in that sense. And of course, when you're getting kind of pushed around on the offensive line, the way that the Jets were, all right, hey, yeah, you're going to be aggressive with that first step. And the slightest things threw them off a little bit. And despite all of those pre-snap penalties, which, of course, everyone's like, oh, the Jets, undisciplined, all that kind of stuff. I get that, right? And but that was what was interesting too, though, is the post-game stuff between Saleh and Rodgers.
Oh gosh.
The drama between these two guys continues. So, at this point, I don't know. Robert Saleh should just give Aaron Rodgers the headset and let him be the head coach. And, because it's just like he can't say anything right. And then Aaron, it just adds fuel to the fire on top of it. But, the truth is that, like, Aaron didn't play well. He didn't see the field well.
Right.
He tried to use snap count to kind of even the playing field for him to kind of get that rhythm back. It backfired on him because just the physicality of the game was overwhelming for them. And then it goes back to, again, yes, Aaron Rodgers' offense, it looked great versus New England, but now you have a defense that says like, hey, F it. We're going to get up in there and we're going to be aggressive and we're going to make sure that we're crowding the line of scrimmage and we're distracting and we're getting hands on the receivers quickly. And it really threw Aaron Rodgers off with his rhythm passing from start to finish.
Well, a couple things. One, he did miss some reads that could have been touchdowns. So that's going to be a herder when they watch the film.
Yep.
That's number one. And I'm trying to think of the other stuff. Oh, so you're trying to you didn't do a good job against the blitz yesterday. They didn't do a great job against the New England Patriots really handling the blitz. So let's see. They got Minnesota coming. Oh, my God. Minnesota, he's up there. Right now, I can see Robert Flores. He's up there in Minnesota going, man, I'm going to design a bunch of these.
Brian Flores.
What did I say? Who did
Robert
I say?
Flores.
Robert. Okay, that's another guy I know.
Yeah,
so Brian Flores, yes, but it's going to be that. It's going to make it, much tougher just because of, even when I played and you played, Matt, if you had a bad week of picking up the blitz, of course, that's all you work on because the next team is going to test you too.
Right.
And no matter how you play the week before Minnesota, they're going to blitz. But we got to get to this.
Right.
Yeah, I got to do this though.
Yeah.
And Sean Payton coming out at halftime, they're losing. He does a nice interview and he's talking. Did you see him talking?
I didn't. I missed this.
Oh, well, he just kind of goes, he was calm. He goes, hey, look, I like where we're at. We're running the ball okay. The defense, this, that, he was like,
yeah,
I think this is going to work out. But Bo Nix, see, that's another big key.
Right.
He threw so many questionable balls early in the game, the first half. Second half, he was much better than he was the first half because he couldn't get any worse throwing the ball.
Right.
And I just got to – and they brought it up. He played in Oregon. He had such trouble handling the football after every play, wiping his hands. And then finally he puts the pouch on. I'm like, put the pouch – get a towel. Do something.
Get some gloves. I don't know.
Put the damn gloves on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's never done it. If he'd tried it, I think it would have changed how we thought. It'd take the pressure off of thinking about the grip. I mean, he literally threw some like this. Like he was I can't even explain it. Like,
well, I mean, I do think to an extent you have to slightly adjust your throwing motion just a little bit. I would say that Aaron Rodgers maybe is like the one example where, he's got big hands, he's long armed, right? Like, he maybe can get away with it more than most people. But I will say that his throwing technique that he has favored in the later part of his career of being flicky and fading and all that stuff, that really backfired on him, because this was a game where, the ball's a little heavier, the weather, all that. You got to finish through the throw a little bit more aggressively than maybe you did, when it's perfect and sunshine and rainbows out there. So, I thought that he didn't do a good enough job of kind of adjusting his motion. Some of his best throws were when he was moving and sliding away from the pocket and throwing sidearm. And throwing sidearm kind of keeps that arm up as you follow through a little bit more. But, some of his, popular throws where he kind of flicks and fades away at the same time, a lot of those throws came up short and were very inaccurate, especially the one to Breece Hall down the right sideline where it was dialed up for it to be one-on-one against the linebacker out of the backfield. And Strnad covered it phenomenally well the entire time. And, that was a missed opportunity for him. That's a one-on-one opportunity where Breece Hall's got a slight step on him and a good accurate throw. There's a touchdown, which changes, again, just how we feel about the game. But I thought Bo Nix, though, on the other aspect of it, man, he was, that a little bit too, separate and a little too army, where it was kind of like, man, do you know that it's raining as hard as you could see here on television?
Yeah.
And then later on went to the two-hand pop pass style.
Oh, man. Well, listen, it did get better in the second half.
Yeah.
I was judging so much. I've watched his games, and especially down in Tampa, he threw the ball so well. I thought, oh, my gosh, this is going to be an unbelievable game. I just didn't think it would be that big of an adjustment for him in the rain, but he learned something, and you do get better from it. And of course, Aaron Rodgers, you said it, on the move. That was some of his best throws. And, I actually was telling somebody, I said, look, you don't understand. Aaron Rodgers has some really big hands and long fingers. And, he kind of like can suction cup the football. I think I told somebody he's got hands like an octopus. It's just, but
it's a tremendous. That's why he is able to
great advantage
the football the way that he does. But that's where the motion and the style, I think, kind of betrayed him in a game like it was this weekend.
And to his credit, I'm gonna give him a lot of credit. He stood up there and did the right thing and said, "Look, We did some terrible things, and so did I.
Right.
Throwing. He even talked about he missed some throws. Of course, he missed one. I can't remember who the tight end was going across the field, and Aaron Rodgers one-hopped it out there. That was kind of a big play too.
There was a design kind of throwback play there to Conklin. So they did the fake inside zones to the left, half roll to the right. Conklin is running like a little deep cross. And he had to put it on him, and he finessed it again. And you're right, he two-hopped it. There was another one too where they had an explosive play dialed up. They just crossed midfield. They lined up in a pro, two tight end set. They do a little fake inside zone again, deep play action pass. Lazard has like a high corner pylon route, right? So he dives in, he's going to the back pylon. And then Garrett Wilson,
I know the play,
had like a fake deep cross break out. And this is where it goes back to, Vance Joseph did enough early on in this football game. And let's face it, to rattle Aaron Rodgers and to make him uncomfortable. And Aaron Rodgers looked at Lazard. He kind of, double pump. Oh, I don't like it. And then went right to his check down. But he was protected extremely well in this football play. And if he would have just went Lazard to Riley, Garrett Wilson, like he normally does on that read, they would have hit an explosive play there, one-on-one versus Patrick Surtain, where we know how dangerous Garrett Wilson is in one-on-one situations.
Well, I'll say this in Aaron Rodgers' favor here. When you're getting pressured and getting hit,
yes,
every play, they always say, well, come on, just hang in there. No. What do you expect the next play? Well, they've hit me 9 plays in a row. Yeah. I think they're going to hit me again on number 10. And so you have to change the way you play. So they kind of did that. And
that's where I say, like, that's kudos to Joseph and what he did to set the tone of the game.
Good
because
point.
Even when they did have the opportunities to then, take advantage of them.
They didn't expect it. Yeah,
and exactly. And because of that, Aaron played how he had felt like he needed to play throughout that football game, got rid of it quick, checked it down, even though it was a missed opportunity.
And I'll say this for Bo Nix, he doesn't lack courage because he kept throwing the ball like he thought he was, I don't know, he thought he was Joe Montana there for a while. Hey, I could hit it, and it was amazing. But he did hit that deep end cut, and you just went, that came out of nowhere.
Right.
So he made a few big throws and led. That's all they did. Not once until the fourth quarter did I think that Denver had any chance of winning the game as I was watching it.
Okay.
All they had to do, the Jets, one score, and it's just going to change everything. But they never could get they couldn't get the important play when it was there to change the game in their favor big way.
Yeah, so, I thought there at the end when the Denver Broncos missed their field goal opportunity, which I think was from about 50 yards, I thought, okay, for sure, like this is the op here. The Jets short field, they're going to be able to hit at least 2 or 3 completions. That's where one of the pass interference calls actually came into play. I think to extend their drive. But another missed opportunity where they missed their own. I think it was another 50-yard field goal, right, that they had themselves, or was it shorter than that?
No, I think it was around 50. It might have been 50 exactly.
But even the field goal kickers, having trouble controlling the football in that type of weather.
Well, big loss for the Jets, of course. And now I've watched this Denver team too, and Sean Payton's not afraid to just keep throwing it at Bo Nix. Like he just puts it on him. That's something we didn't talk about. I thought, especially in the second half. Mm-hmm. The run game by the Broncos was really changing the game too.
Right.
Eating up the clock, keeping them in good situations. And Javonte Williams, he can still honk it up in there. So Broncos, they're 2-2, just like a lot of teams in the league right now. And after seeing that defense and the way they play aggressive on the offensive side, they're going to upset some people. I don't know if they're going to go to the playoffs. It doesn't matter. This is the year for the quarterback, and they're rebuilding the team, getting rid of salary cap. They got a lot going on out there. And,
they do. But Javonte Williams was 16 carries for 77 yards, so pretty efficient. Were you a little disappointed? Because just to kind of ask you about that, right? So the Broncos 31 carries for 126 yards.
Right.
And then the Jets, 23 carries for 64 yards.
Big difference, yes.
Yeah, I mean, and one of them really was Aaron Rodgers pulling, off one of those read plays. I don't even think he read it. He just honestly pulled it because he thought it was going to be a blow up in the backfield anyway. But, were you a little shocked that the Jets weren't more patient in the run game, or do you think that they did the appropriate thing in being a little bit more aggressive in the passing attack with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, when the big guy, they put him in there, Brees Hall wasn't, the kind of running back you'd want for that situation, I don't think. So Allen, who's bigger and had, I thought, some success. What were his numbers when he came in?
So he was 8 carries for 34 yards. I thought he did run the ball.
I did too. Yes.
That's where my thought was as I was watching the film. The obvious running formations, didn't work out well for the Jets. The Broncos they were firing through the gaps way too quickly for them to get any sort of rhythm and double team. But when they were in like shotgun sets and spread formation, that's where I feel like they at least got a decent push. They typically had like a 5 or a 6 man box where it seemed like they can get a few tough yards. But I was a little surprised that they weren't more patient in the run game in that sense in some of the situations in this game.
I think running backs are a lot like a lot of things in the league. When somebody comes in and has success, keep feeding it to him until he doesn't have success.
Right.
And I thought when I saw Braylon Allen just running up in there and picking up good yards, I was surprised he didn't get more carries.
Yeah.
So, tough game. I don't know what else to say. I think that says it all. The Jets got to, it's still, gosh almighty, just the fact that the way everybody just goes over the top about every win and every loss.
Of course.
Especially the losses.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to fire him this week? That was on TV this morning. Robert Saleh, Nick Sirianni, they lose one more game. He might get fired. I don't think they're going to fire him right now. I mean, if they do. Then,
in a weird way, though, too, I was excited in a sense because, I'm just so tired of everyone in this area crushing Daniel Jones, because he played poorly against the Cowboys where he missed 3 throws, even though he had a few drops. And, of course, everyone's overcritical. And then, I'm watching the film and I'm like, all right, here's a 4-time NFL MVP and a Super Bowl champion. And, he's having trouble completing a stick route, and I don't care that it's raining, like I expect him to get the job done, and I just thought it was a good, healthy reminder for me as I was watching this of like, quarterback in the NFL is really difficult no matter how good or how long you've been doing it. And, hey, Jaden Daniels, man, you're doing awesome, right? 80% completion percentage. It's crazy. It is, but
it's crazy.
CJ Stroud also a week ago against the Minnesota Vikings will tell you too that some games are tougher than others. And, it's just the reality of the sport. And that's where, like, in a weird way, I was like, see, New York, like, relax. Even the guy that you thought was going to come here and save you, the one person that would save you, struggled even worse than the guy that everyone wants to just take out to pasture today, and retire.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's good. It's good.
It's just like, it hurts me, being a former QB, just how easy people just, toss people under the bus like that.
I'm just, I don't want to always say these things or whatever, but they're talking about it this morning, and a quarterback plays. But his team lost.
Right.
All right. It's get really worse so far after 4 games by the media and fans than ever before. They boil every game down to a missed throw or an interception or what by the quarterback. It's right. Unbelievable. And trust me, fans. We will. I think we're telling you the truth, and every game is just not won and lost by the damn quarterback.
Right.
And sometimes the quarterback can play terrible, but he manages it the right way, and his team hangs on for a close victory. Those happen too.
Bo Nix.
That was over the top.
Yeah, so. But it's just like it's an example of like there he is. He struggles. They still won, and Yeah, that's where I kind of went off on a tangent there because it just, I think
No,
it's a
I hear
healthy
you.
reminder that,
Well,
we'll make excuses for some guys, we won't make excuses for others. And, it's just the truth is that it's a hard damn game. It's a hard position to play. And ultimately, it's a team game. And I don't care who your quarterback is. Both New York teams lost this weekend.
well, here's the other thing. I didn't want to get into this, Dan. I'm going to do it. But listen to Sam Darnold. It's just as soon as he throws an interception or they lose a game where it's good. Well, we knew it was going to happen. And, so right away, it's already there. As soon as it happens, that'll be the story of the day and the week. You just can't trust him, in a big spot. Oh, I love the big spots. In a big spot, he won't. So, the rest of the game means nothing. It's just all about, it's like we were talking about Daniel Jones. I heard a fan call into Boomer and Gio.
Yeah.
And he talked about 3 throws or 2 throws that he missed. Oh, well, then, so now we're going to go back and judge, forget all the completions.
Mm-hmm.
What was he at one time? He was crazy, like 21 to 24, even better than that. And then, of course, at the end of the game. But, now we're going to watch just the incompletions to blame it on the quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt. I hope that same fan called in after Aaron Rodgers' performance this past weekend too, because, if you want to go tit for tat that way, you could do that, right? And that's that. If you want to be that petty with the hardest position in all of football, then all right, go ahead, be that petty, But it's just one of those things where, man, just can't take it. I gotta defend, these QBs and just how difficult it is for them at times. But for the Jets, it doesn't get any easier. Yep, you got the Minnesota Vikings coming up. Is that a road game or a home game? I'm not.
It's in London.
Sure.
London.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That a boy, Phil. Are you going to the game?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No. They're playing in London. I think it's in London. And no, I'm going over there in November.
For the
when the Giants play Carolina.
Yeah.
To Germany.
Excited for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go over there, do a little bit, whatever with the organization, I hope, and then I'm going to do the game on radio. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Are you joining? Is it you and Iron Eagle again?
No, I'm going to be working. It's a Sunday, so
okay.
He'll have a game with Charles Davis. I thought they did a pretty good job yesterday. Talking about the game, the weather, and all that, and the players. I mean, I thought they really were really on top of it. The blitzing,
right?
You name it. There was a good game. It was a good game for an analyst to kind of see and talk about some stuff that a lot of times you never get a chance to talk about. So I thought they did a really good job.
I thought it was super fun to watch as a fan. I mean, I know it's not like what everyone wants to see every weekend, but like it just to see teams kind of find ways to win and be successful when it's not going your way at all, I think is always entertaining football. And isn't it crazy too? I mean, Thursday night, that seems like it was months ago, that Thursday night game that you did with him and the Iron Eagle.
I'm confused every time I talk to somebody. Wait, was that 2 weeks ago? What was that? Yeah, it's terrible.
That's why I'm like, I totally forgot it was a Thursday game already, but
I need a teleprompter in my computer just so I can read it, so because it's hard. It is. To think, have I talked to so-and-so about the Giant game? No, I don't think I have because I talked to him on Wednesdays. The game was Thursday. It's crazy that way, but it's all good.
It is.
All right. Anything else we done? I mean, I got tons of things to complain about, but we'll save it for another one later this week.
All right. No, that's good. We complained for a total of 35 minutes, so I think we're good.
Way too long
today.
Yeah. Way too long.
But it's always a pleasure, Phil.
Whoever listens all 35 minutes, we're going to send you a cigar.
That's
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I couldn't come up with anything else.
Maybe a funny cigar, right? Yeah. So they actually don't know how long they've been here watching. But
what the hell's a funny cigar? Oh, I know what you're talking. Oh, come on. Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, I caught on.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all we got.
Very good.
Complete. He's Phil Simms. I'm Matt Simms. Like and subscribe. Write a review. Check us out on YouTube. We'll be back for more next week to dive into more Giants and Jets breakdowns. We appreciate it. Thank you. See you later. You the man, Big Phil.
All right, bud.
Toodles.